YouTube says it has had enough of vaccine misinformation on its site.
And false stories from phony sites to run circles around major news outlets.
Many people don't know the difference between something real and something created to deceive them.
Open your eyes.
If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. Dear Santa, or should I say Dear Satan, yet another Hollywood movie which really exposes the truth in plain sight, because if you're not familiar with Christmas and the origins of Christmas and how it's really Saturnalia, and of course Santa's derived from Nimrod, well, it's a good time to start educating yourself on these topics. Now, I'm not saying if you're somebody who hangs out with their family during the holidays, I'm not telling you how to live your life, but at the very least, you should understand the origins of these holidays and how they do not revolve around our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, how they actually revolve around and are based off of pagan customs and pagan traditions. And this movie right here, called Dear Santa, is about what? Well, it's about a child who sends a letter to Santa, but accidentally sends it to Satan. And of course, we see Jack Black playing the role of Satan with those Baphomet ears. And of course, Jack Black is no stranger to the devil, as I'll show you in this video. But I want to show you and point something out first before I play the trailer for you. And that is this common theme, which is Satan or witches being played as the good guys in all of these shows. They are the protagonists, so to speak. They're the one that you're supposed to cheer for, instead of looking at these people like Lucifer or any of these witch shows that constantly come out month after month. You're supposed to, in a society that makes sense, if you understand about the devil and about witches, you'd realize the sacrifices that they make and what these people really are about who practice Satanism or witchcraft. But of course, they tell you that that's all make-believe, and they constantly, in the year 2024, are making these characters that you would think in a normal world would be the villains. They're making them the good guy. And of course, this is Mind Control 101. This is how they get young children out there to look at Lucifer as a victim, to look at witches as a victim, right? We've had the TV show Lucifer, which depicts Lucifer as somebody who's gotten a bad rap. Lucifer got a bad rap, you know? God's really the villain in the show, right? We have Agatha All Along, which I just covered, that just came out, right? Another show about a witch. And who's the good guy in the show? The witch. We've had shows like Has Been Hotel that appear on Amazon Prime, a series, you know, these cartoon shows that they constantly tell you aren't for kids, but they are for kids. They are for kids, and even if adults are the ones watching it, well, adults watching cartoons are behaving like children, clearly, because cartoons are designed for children. The animation, the colors, it's supposed to grab a child's attention. That's why cartoons exist. Walt Disney, the master of mind control, MK Ultra. And if you actually listen to interviews, some that I've done in the past with Satanists, they talk about how they use cartoons as a gateway, not just into the occult, but to also get children to partake in some of these disturbing activities that they're not supposed to be partaking in, that Satanists lure them into by showing them cartoons that show that type of imagery. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, let's just say adults behaving badly with children. They use cartoons to groom them. So we've had shows like Has Been Hotel. We've had shows like Little Demon, you know, depicting the Antichrist as a hero. Obviously, you've seen the commercials with Ryan Reynolds for Match.com that I've covered in the past, where they make Satan into a likable character. He's funny, he's charming. Shows like Mr. Pickles, where a dog is committing human sacrifice. You even have the 666 on the logo for the show. The entire cartoon is about sacrifice, a satanic dog that's making sacrifice. And then again, they tell you that this stuff is really geared towards adults, but when children have a remote control in their hand, which they shouldn't, But when they do, and they see something like this, they're more drawn to watch that because it's a cartoon. It appears more entertaining to them. So Jack Black is in this movie. I'm going to play the trailer for you now. You may remember me covering Jack Black in the past. Here he is wearing the Baphomet, the devil shirt that has the devil tarot card he's wearing on his shirt. And of course, somebody else in the film is Post Malone, who obviously has shown his allegiance to Satan as well. Here is the trailer for Dear Santa.
Every Christmas, something magical happens when a kid sends a letter to Santa. But Liam...
To Santa.
This looks like fun.
What do you want?
You summoned me. Kid, are you high? You lucked out big time. I'm way better than Santa. You, my friend, are getting 3 wishes. By the way, after you make your wishes, I'm taking your soul. Let me show you a few of the things I could do for you.
It's Post Malone. I'm worried Santa's going to trick me into getting my soul. No, down here. What are you waiting for? Go make a move.
I tried everything. That kid's incorruptible.
So of course you could see how they make Satan into being cool and hip, and Jack Black was perfectly casted for this because Jack Black is constantly somebody who out in the openly talks about some of the themes you see in the trailer, right? They tell you that movies like this are fiction, selling your soul's not real, right? Here's Jack Black in an interview on The Tonight Show talking about how he did sell his soul to Satan.
Song is about saving souls from demons or something,
Yeah.
as I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Now, what was?
Well, there's a rich history of the devil in rock and roll. It goes all the way back to like Elvis was everyone said he's playing the devil's music. What was that great song? The devil went down to Joe.
Oh, Charlie Daniels.
Charlie Daniels. He had some devil in there, and it goes even back to before that. It was Robert Johnson.
Right.
You can find his roots, way back to the beginning of rock, and so. Had we sold our soul to the devil? How else can you explain us being here on the
So it's incredible how these movies have these themes about Satanism. Then these people, these actors who portray the devil, right, in these movies, or portray a witch in some of these movies, when they're interviewed on these talk shows, they constantly tell you the truth. But everybody out there hears that, they just laugh because they see the laugh box above them. And like the sheeple that they are, they laugh at whatever they're told, right? That's the only reason any of these people in attendance to these late night shows actually laugh, because they're programmed. That's why they call it programming. And they even tell them when they're there's a huge box that says applause and laugh. And these sheeple don't have the slightest clue about mind control and how it works. So Jack Black in the past has betrayed Jesus and mocked Jesus. We've seen him holding up devil horns time and time again. He even was in another movie where he played a warlock. It was called The House with a Clock in Its Walls, and I've covered that. The video is available on the website, and you'll see, even in that movie, the connection between witchcraft and Freemasonry, because Jack Black's character, who is a warlock, is even wearing his Freemasonic hat, his fez. And that hat is associated directly with the Shriners, right? And you might say, the Shriners, where have I heard about the Shriners before? Well, the only thing you hear about the Shriners is how great they are, what great people they are, because they go out of their way to air commercials about how they give all their money to children's hospitals and how they help all of these children in need out there. But what they don't tell you, of course, is all these children who are sick, who have cancer and have all these diseases. Well, you could blame people like the Shriners and the Freemasons, because those are the same people who are running our government, who are running these corporations, who are running these chemical factories and dumping chemicals in our food, or the pharmaceutical companies that are dumping chemicals in newborn babies' bodies. So while they come out there and they say, hey, we're great, wonderful people, don't worry about what we really worship, which, oh, by the way, is Lucifer. Just ignore that, because we show you out in the open that we're great people, right? So Jack Black plays Satan. You could even see the devil horns, another common thing that we always see, another common hand gesture you could see as well. When Post Malone was on the stage with Jack Black, of course, they have the child all decked out in their black and white Masonic checkerboard outfit that this young child is wearing, because this is how they show you the truth in plain sight. The black and white tile, the duality. This is very symbolic to the occult. Every single Freemason lodge has black and white checkerboard floors in it. Every Freemason lodge, every Eastern Star lodge, and of course the Eastern Star is your female version of Freemasonry, women who dabble in witchcraft and sorcery, right? In our own towns, right? Around us, right? That's why it's so important for them to constantly show up at parades and have commercials about children's hospitals so that you think that what I'm saying sounds like a crazy conspiracy because they present themselves as philanthropists. Well, guess who else portrays themselves as philanthropists? People like Bill Gates portray themselves as philanthropists. People like Oprah Winfrey. The most wicked people in the world boast and let you know that they donate their money to help third world countries and for all these great causes. What they don't tell you is that they don't pay taxes. The law doesn't apply to them. It applies only to people like me and you. So even in the trailer, you could see the satanic pentagram on the floor, which I would assume is in hell. You could see Jack Black playing Satan in hell. And of course, you got the pentagram, right? You got the 5-pointed star that most Christians won't even realize what it is. In fact, you'll see Christians who have one on their door or on their barn in some cases because the arrows aren't going through it. So they think that since it doesn't have the lines going through it, and it's like a Dallas Cowboy star, that it's not an actual pentagram. But it is, because it's about the points of the star in the pentagram. And of course, the origins of the star go back to Aleister Crowley and sayings like, we're all stars or be a star. This is all occult terminology, and the video on that is on the website as well. So the pentagram, again, Christians for Halloween, I mean, somehow we have Christians who celebrate Halloween who have pentagrams up on their door. Somehow we allow, in these stores, they sell pentagrams. They sell all this satanic crap, even when it's not Halloween. They literally sell Baphomet statues at some of these stores now, right? And again, the theme in the trailer is about what? It's about selling your soul and how he's going to grant this kid wishes, and of course, playing into money and fame and all the things that we hear associated with Satan in today's world, right? But it's all a giant conspiracy, right? It's just good, clean fun. A kid sending a letter to Santa accidentally sends it to Satan, but they're one and the same, are they not? I mean, the origins of Christmas have nothing to do with Jesus Christ. In fact, they have everything to do with Saturnalia, but most people don't want to hear that because they enjoy the holiday season. And I understand why people enjoy the holiday season. It's a nice time of year when people act a little bit nicer, right? We've had all this MK Ultra done to us about snow and Christmas and trees, and it's kind of a relaxing thing. So I understand why people like it, but most people out there don't understand the origins of it. Most people out there are more than likely to celebrate it in some way, and I'm not passing judgment on people out there that celebrate it, but just become aware of what these holidays are and are not. So Jack Black, a guy who openly professes Satan as his God, plays Satan in a movie. The truth couldn't be more in plain sight. And again, Satan comes across as a funny guy, a loving guy, a good guy. I'm sure the movie ends with Satan being praised by everyone, because eventually that's what they expect here on Earth. And we're getting closer and closer to that every single day. I thank you for being here. Hope you're all doing well. God bless all of you as always and your families.